Hey everyone, and welcome back to Warship Dits. This one we're covering HMS Nelson, pennant number 28. HMS Nelson was one of two Nelson-class battleships built for the Royal Navy during the 1920s. HMS Nelson was laid down in December 1922 and commissioned in August 1927. She, alongside her sister ship HMS Rodney, were the only battleships built by the Royal Navy between the First and Second World War. The Nelson-class battleships were unique in design, featuring an all-forward gun arrangement with three triple gun turrets mounted forward of the superstructure. This design was a result of the limitations imposed by the Washington Naval Treaty, which restricted the tonnage and armament of capital ships. During the interwar years, HMS Nelson served in various capacities, including as a flagship of the Home Fleet. However, she spent a lot of time in refit. During the 1930s, she received a major refit which improved her armour, anti-aircraft defences and fire control systems. During World War II, HMS Nelson played a significant role in various operations. She partook in the Norwegian campaign in 1940 and later participated in the Battle of the Atlantic and convoy escort duties. In the Mediterranean theatre, HMS Nelson operated extensively, providing firepower and support during the Allied landings in North Africa in 1942 under Operation Torch. Force H provided cover against any interference by the Regana Marina or invading forces in the Mediterranean as they began their landings. New Commander Sifret, commander of Force H, hoisted his flag aboard Nelson on the 15th of November for the first time. Force H also covered a troop convoy from Gibraltar to Algiers in 1943. He also played an extensive role in the invasion of Sicily in 1943 under Operation Husky and Operation Avalanche in the same year. The sisters covered the amphibious landings at Salerno on the 9th of September, with Nelson using her main guns in barrage mode to deter attacking German torpedo bombers, which later led to the Italian armistice being signed by General Dwight Eisenhower. Later operations she also participated in was the D-Day landings in June 1944, Operation Neptune, and provided gunfire support for the Normandy campaign. To do this, Nelson departed Gibraltar on the 31st of October for England to rejoin the Home Fleet. During the operation, she mainly provided naval gunfire support during the landings. However, she was badly damaged after hitting two mines and had to return to Portsmouth. Post-war, HMS Nelson was used for returning Allied prisoners of war, and she was decommissioned in 1948 and scrapped in 1949. Her battle honours she received were Norway 1940 for her service in the Norwegian campaign, Atlantic 1940-45 for operations in the Battle of the Atlantic, Arctic 1942-43 for operations in convoy duties to help keep the Soviet Union fed and equipped when they were fighting the Germans, North Africa 42-43 when she was providing gunfire support for the North Africa campaign, Sicily 43 for Operation Husky and Avalanche. She also received Salerno 1943, Normandy 1944 for a role in D-Days. Now let's get on to some facts about her. Displacement was 33,950 tons. When fully loaded, it was 41,590 tons. Her armament, the main battery of Nelson's ship consists of 9 breech-loading 60-inch guns, 3 turrets forward of the superstructure, designated A, B, and C from front to rear. The B turret superfired over the others. The secondary armament consisted of a dozen BL 6-inch guns in twin mounts after the superstructure, 3 turrets each broadside. Their anti-aircraft armament consists of 6 quick-firing 4.7-inch 120mm guns and unshielded single mounts, 8 QF 2-pounder single mounts, and the ship was fitted with 2 submerged torpedo tubes, 1 each side. Their speed was approximately 23 knots, with a crew complement of 1,361 officers and men. The protection of the vessel consisted of abrupt cemented armour that was 14 inches thick between the main gun barberettes and thinned to 13 inches over the engine and boiler rooms, as well as 6-inch magazines, but did not reach either the bow or stern to improve the ability of deflecting plunging fire. Its upper edge was inclined to 18 degrees outward. The ends of the armoured citadel were closed off by transverse bulkheads of non-cemented armour 8-12 inches thick at the forward end and 4 to 10 inches thick at the aft end. Face of the main turrets were protected by 16 inches of Krupp cemented armour, while the turrets were protected from 9 to 11 inches. The roof armour plates measured 7.5 inches in thickness, and the Krupp armour of the barbarets ranged from 12 to 15 inches. The underwater protection for Nelson was provided by a double bottom of around 5 feet in depth and a torpedo protection system. Essentially, it done its best to stop torpedoes penetrating the main hull. It consisted of an empty outer watertight compartment and an inner water-filled compartment. They had a total depth of 12 feet and were backed by a torpedo bulkhead of 1.5 inches thick. Later in life, modifications to HMS Nelson included the high-angle directors and rangefinder, and their platform were replaced by a new circular platform for high-angle control systems, or the Mark I director in May to June 1930. By March 1934, the single 2-pounders and the starboard torpedo director were removed and replaced by a single octuple 2-pounder pom-pom mount on the starboard side of the funnel, provided with a Mark I director mount on the bridge roof. In 1934-35, Nelson was fitted with a pair of quadruple mounts for the Vickers .5-inch anti-aircraft machine guns that were positioned forward of the superstructure. The ship was also fitted with a crane to handle the Supermarine Seagull biplane amphibian aircraft, carried for test purposes. The crane was retained at the end of the trial. Sometime in 1936 and 37, she received the port side pom-pom and its director. In addition, gun shields were fitted to the 4.7-inch guns, although they were removed in March 1938. During her time in refit in June 1937 to January 1938, Nelson had a high-angle director tower reinforced and enlarged to accommodate a pair of HACS Mark III directors, and a new non-cemented deck was installed. Like her aft deck armour, it was at level of the bottom of the armour belt, and extruded forward from the front of the sail almost to the bar, ranging in thickness from 4 inches close to the sail to 2.5 inches near the bar. While under repair from January to August 1940, after being mined in December 1939, Nelson had her aft 6-inch directors replaced by a pair of octuple 2-pounder pom-poms, which was added to the quarterdeck. She was also fitted with a Type 7-9 early warning radar. During her repairs, after being torpedoed in October 1941, Nelson had her torpedo tubes and UPG rocket launchers removed and had an octuple 2-pounder pom-pom mount installed onto the roof of the B turret. A pair of 20mm Orcolians were installed onto the roof of the C turret, and 11 more were mounted on various places of the superstructure. While under a refit in the United States in 1944, the preparer for operations in the Pacific, her anti-aircraft armament was augmented with 21 more Orcolian guns for a total of 61 weapons. The backup director and its armoured hood were replaced by a new platform for a pair of quadruple 40mm Boffers mounts. Another pair of quadruple mounts were added abaft the funnel. Most of the pom-pom directors were replaced by 4 Mark 51 directors for the Boffers guns. These additions increased the ship's deep displacement to 44,054 long tons, and her crew up to 1,631 to 1,650 men. The fate of this ship was a bit sad for all the battle honours she received. The ship was placed on reserve duties in the 20th of October 1947 after her shipping back prisoners of war, and was listed for disposal in May 1948. From 4th of June to 23rd of September, she was used as target ship for 2,000-pound armor-piercing bombs to evaluate their ability to penetrate the ship's armoured deck. She was turned over to the British Iron and Steel Corporation on the 5th of January 1949 and was allocated to Thos W. Yard scrapping. The ship arrived at Evertking on the 15th of March to begin demolition. And that is the Dits chat on HMS Nelson. And with that, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the quick Dits on her, and if you haven't as well, please do remember to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. And if you haven't as well, please do remember to join us on Discord. Anyways, with that, everyone, thanks again for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.